Hood Theologian Podcast with your host, King 7.
Yes, sir. I don't like how that just cuts out like that, but what's happening, y'all? So, we're here today, and I'm seeing that one thing I didn't want to happen happened, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Because we in here. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I cannot see my chat like normal. I gotta figure out what's going on with this chat situation over here. Buddy just went to sleep on me. Let's see if we can reopen this chat real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. How y'all day going? You know what I'm talking about? How is your day going? You know what I mean? All right. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see my chat. How y'all doing? Sit still. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, we in here. You know what I'm talking about? So it's Wednesday. I don't want to look at myself that big. It's kind of weird. It's been a week. I'm sure y'all have seen. A lot going on. You know what I mean? If you are on YouTube, thank y'all for joining me. This is my first time having y'all here. You subscribe to my channel, so obviously you know who I am. But I want to change this title. I don't know how to do that, but we ain't gonna worry about that today. I'll change it later on. Man, so where do I start? All right, so not last week, but 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the dating list, right? And man, I love this mic. This mic is amazing. We were talking about the dating list, and it was a toss up of opinions, you know, about what is appropriate places to go for dating, right? And so I heard, you know, a lot of different opinions and things like that, just throughout the week, not just during the stream, but throughout the week. You know, a lot of different things were said, just about, you know, they came up with a list. If you're supposed to these are the women to avoid dating. These are the appropriate places to go on a first date. I saw all of those, right? And it was interesting to say the least. And I thought, you know, that would have died down, but right at the end of that, and I don't know if this happened. Somebody can correct me if they know the exact time, but right at the end of that, if I'm not mistaken, I heard about Russell Wilson. Got it out the field. Russell, y'all, everybody heard turn your click up. I don't care what you say. Russell Wilson took Sierra, his wife, to Waffle House, right? And bought it out though. You know what I'm saying? He bought it out. But I guess rented out the whole Waffle House, whatever, and did his thing, which I thought was pretty dope. Oh yeah, by the way, I have to mention that this show is brought to you. 124mixtapes.com. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, Russell Wilson bought out the Waffle House, and they had I believe it was their anniversary dinner there, which was dope. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was cool, mainly because, that's what she said she wanted, and I think that I don't know if the title doesn't look like it showed up, so. The name of the title of this show in particular was Heart Issues, Head Issues, No Tissues. And we're going to get into all the reasons why. But, that's what it is. So, let me get my list out. Stop acting like I can read it from all the way over there. Yeah, so that was interesting. And then what I noticed, if I don't know if y'all saw this or not as well, what I noticed was that there were a lot of people that mostly women that I would consider, according to the late great Kevin Samuels, high value women, that were saying things like, don't let that one video of that girl being mad about Cheesecake Factory fool y'all. I'll do it. I saw one meme that said, a woman doesn't care where the date is when she's feeling you. I think that's that shows a little hope for the future. It's kind of objective because I believe that at the same time, you want to believe that people aren't that shallow. Jury's still out on that. We just leave it at that, right? Also, now it is being said that I even heard somebody say they were cool with Red Lobster. Hey man, if Red Lobster's your thing, I don't eat shellfish, so you know what I'm saying, that's not something that any of me and my gonna be doing. But I just encourage you to keep the law, statutes, commandments. Amen. Yeah. So that being said, like I said, the name of this show is Heart Issues, Head Issues, No Tissues. Mainly because, people are getting caught up in a lot of different things that I think sometimes people are looking at it from two different perspectives or ways to consider it. And this first topic is going to be the catalyst to the main subject or whatnot. But I guess it was this week or at the end of last week, one of the two. A Christian hip hop artist by the name of D1 went on Sway in the Morning and called out some artists on air, basically implying that their music was negative, and that it was hurting their listeners, things like that, right? Which the point of that, what I'm saying, you can't really argue that from a morality standpoint of, what I'm saying, like what's gonna help the people. D1 went on there and said what he said, and he shot his words at, in particular on this one that I heard, Rick Ross, Meek Mill, and Jim Jones, right? And you know, I'm gonna get into it a little bit deeper. Uh, but hey, man, I'll praise the girl. Appreciate that. Um, I I disagree with the way that he did. Okay, my chat is showing up. Thank you. Yes, so we can get rid of this. Um, and I felt that it was not the way to do it. You know, but I'll get into that a little bit more. You know what I'm saying, in a minute. But share the live for me, by the way. Um, if you don't mind, share the stream, share the podcast, whatever word y'all want to use. Please share it. Um, yeah. So that's what he did. That's what he said. I feel that it was good intent behind what he did. I mean, because like let's be honest. Let's look at some of the lyrics in 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 songs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go song by song, but we've all heard them. You know what I'm saying? And they were soundtracks for a time. I don't know, like when that was a life that was something I was interested in. But I grew up, one, and also matured and also understood the impact of the words that I was saying, right? Um, and some stuff, you gotta leave in the past. Now, I'm not saying, like I've said this before, don't be no earthly good, because, and I'm gonna get into that too. Um, but it's just certain things you gotta find the right way to get it done. Because I mean, pride goes into this. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like the songs that we've all heard. I even heard one song. The artist was saying, "I'm a devil," and sampled Dionne Warwick. I'm like, golly, bruh. You slandered the good sis Dionne Warwick's name with "I'm the devil." Well, then again, I heard, yeah. Ah, man, I'm not gonna say the artist's name because I don't even want to give her no her any publicity. Um, but yeah, it's a popular song. I guarantee it's going crazy on TikTok right now. Nobody pays attention to it though because it's so catchy. I just leave it at that. But yeah, so the lyrics and the content in this music is not the greatest. It's not uplifting. A lot of it is negative. And going to my next point, I get, you come from something. You know what I'm saying? You come from a struggle. Like everybody that didn't had any type of life, I'm talking about, like, they didn't seen it. You feel me? But it's one thing to be uh, a reporter. Yeah, that's it. You nailed it. That is who it is. Um, it's one thing to be a reporter at you know what I'm saying, like, talking about the experience and what you're going through. It's objective to say that this was the path out. This is the way I made it. If you're like trying to help people and not just make money, which, you know what I'm saying, let's just be real. Some people, they just want to make money. And you know what I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, don't let that take your soul. You know what I'm saying? Money's a tool. Um, the love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. So if you're using the tool for a good reason, or you got a purpose on what you're doing, then okay. You know what I'm saying? But um I've recently begun to, like, study and understand more some of the things that Jeezy has been saying that, and he just put an album out, and I'm not telling nobody to go and listen to it. But you can notice a obvious transformation in this gentleman, and I'm not saying that we was homeboys, but we were in some of the circles together, so I was able to observe him in different phases of life, and I can say that at least from a maturation standpoint, he has grown up and is not still trying to promote and push a negative agenda to the future. Because I mean, like he just did this interview with Nia Long, and I watched yesterday, and he was talking about that, even with his son, he understands like things that he wish he did better. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he gets it, which, and this is one of the moments I'm not ashamed to say it. If anybody knows how to connect me and Dog again, definitely would love to sit down and talk with him. Not for the show. Like this is not a publicity thing. This is about our people. You feel me? Love to sit down with Dog if anybody ever hears this and can get it in front of him, because you know what I'm saying, like for the culture, I believe it was something that we needed, especially just going through a very public divorce. You know what I'm saying? He had a public relationship because of who his spouse was. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't hard to miss, for lack of a better way to put it, like everything that was going on or whatnot. That being said, right, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, it was good for him to forgive the people. He even wrote a list out that he posted on Instagram, some people that I am familiar with from the songs and things like that, and other situations. But I feel that it's kind of counterproductive to say that you don't forget, because what is true forgiveness, right? True forgiveness is one of them things where, like, I'm not saying you got to treat a person like they gonna be your best friend. You going, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be all hugs and kisses from now on, because I'm not with none of that, especially kind of based on the severity of the thing. But I have literally had situations where I had to wipe a person's transgression against me away from my memory, because it was holding me down. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like bitterness, like expecting somebody else to be hurt when you're still the one that's got the poison. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes they didn't already forgot and moved on, but like holding on to it, you know what I'm talking about, like ain't really hurting nobody but you. And I mean, let's be clear, that's not as easy as I'm making it sound. You feel what I'm saying? But like at the same time, at what cost are you holding on to this? At what cost are you holding on to this these feelings? You know what I'm saying? Like, what music are you listening to that's, and that's going back to the music thing, like what's causing you to not be able to move on and have the productive life that you want, right? I mean, because is it not worth it? That's just a real question. Like, is it not worth it at all to like consider the possibility that maybe what I need and what's best for me is being able to let this go for real, like forgive and forget. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's easy. Like I said, I'm not making it sound as easy. I don't want it to sound as easy as it is me saying it, but the reality is that holding on to it is not true forgiveness. There's still a resentment there that's really going to keep you from being able to really get to where you're trying to go. Just because it's energy. Let's just break it down plain and simple. It's energy, and anything you spend energy on that's not in the direction of where you're trying to go, it's taken away from your ability to fully perform at your highest potential. Now, being able to get to the place to forgive, that's great. That's great, right? Because, you know what I'm saying, that's a major step for some people based on the situation. But when you're able to get to a point of forgetting what it is that happened, that's when a true healing, and I don't mean forget like ignored, but I'm literally forgiving you where that doesn't bother me, and I don't focus on it anymore, right? So, and if that's what Dog meant by what he said, you know what I'm saying, then that's great. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to take nothing from, you know what I'm saying, his process. Like I said, it's good for the culture to see forgiveness happening on that platform, for to see him be vulnerable about his relationship. It was good for two black people, a male and a female, to talk about these things in an open forum. I thought it was dope. Um, it's that's a very underserved element in the minority community. You know what I'm saying? People just choosing to be vulnerable. Most of the time, because, you know what I'm saying, niggas be feeling like they got to be tough. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you got to be tough because, you know, I heard somebody very close to me one time say they don't want nobody to see them bleed. And then I thought into what that statement meant. And it was basically like, let's look at it in the shark perspective. If a shark smells blood in the water, then they're gonna attack. So my loved one saying to me they don't want nobody to see them bleed, I understood, but it hurt because it's like, dang, like you can't even let it shake. You can't even shake it yet because you too scared to be vulnerable because you feel like somebody gonna try to kick you when you down, and that's not right. We as a people, as a culture, got to do better about allowing people to be vulnerable around us, and walking them to the path of healing. You know what I'm saying? And my barometer of what it looks like is all according to the word. You feel what I'm saying? But if we don't allow people to uh, uh, expose their heart around us, then there's no healing that's gonna happen, and we not gonna stop dealing with these curses first and foremost, and we gonna deal with a continue to have hurt generation after hurt generation, and try to figure out what the real problem is, trying to blame other people when the problem is us. And that's what Deuteronomy 28 said. As a people, Israel got judged. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, at what cost? You feel what I'm saying? Um, Sean, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you stepping through. Um, so that being said, I just got stuck on like I said, the title of the show is heart issues, head issues, no tissues. Because, at what point in time are we going to really engineer the healing that we need, without necessarily even pacifying people? And that's why I said no tissues. Because, like, you can use a tissue one time, right? But where's the real fix? So one of the first things that stuck out in my mind, and my homie, Kendall, Pastor Kendall, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Good dude, you know what I'm saying? One of the reasons why my elevation and understanding has grown. Kendall Young, man. If you're out there, you listening, bro, I salute you, appreciate you. Um, he was preaching and talking about forgiveness, and he was like, and this was deep because he's preaching. Well, he did it twice. He preached at his brother's funeral, right? And then they did a gym dedication for his brother, and he preached again. But what he said at the gym dedication, he was like, what would have been crazy is like if my blood brother died, and I had unforgiveness in my heart and I never got a chance to fix it. That's deep. And at the rate that life is going, man, tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. I wake up and thank the Most High for each day I get. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to. So, the scripture that he pointed out was Matthew chapter 6 and verse 5. But I'm sure y'all have heard Matthew chapter 6 a lot, especially between verses 9 and 13, because that's the Lord's Prayer. Everybody knows that, but doesn't understand the context that Christ was putting that whole idea in. You feel what I'm saying? Because he was like, first of all, before you even pray, you need to get some forgiveness going for like the situations going on around you. Otherwise, don't waste your time. Because in verse 5, he said, and when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray, standing in synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. Basically saying, watch what's finna happen. They finna waste all their time praying, and they ain't finna get nothing done. Then he tells you how to pray after you've had forgiven. But I ain't got to go through that because I'm sure y'all have heard it. But verse 14 says, for if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. So it's like, are we not deserving of forgiveness? Of course. But you got to be willing to offer it in order to get it. You feel what I'm saying? That's just the way, that's literally what the scripture just said. You feel what I'm saying? In case you missed it, it was Matthew chapter 6 verse 5. I also read verse 14. But like, people be wanting this idea of I don't know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? People be wanting this idea of like absolution, right? Without being willing to do their part. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's your participation in what needs to be fixed? No, we can't just keep taking and taking and taking. That's not the way it works. You feel what I'm saying? So if you want to be forgiven, you know what I'm saying? Be willing to offer some forgiveness. Because I guarantee you, the forgiveness from the Father gonna mean way more in the long run. You know what I mean? And going back to the D1 situation, I feel that your heart issue has to really be like in check in order to allow somebody to have the opportunity to ask for the forgiveness. Because let's be real, like, let's break this down, right? You got a millionaire rapper, and I'm not taking nothing from D1, but I don't think that he's reached the paramounts of success that Rick Ross has. But a wise man seeks counsel from people about what they, you know what I'm saying, like where they have got in life. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a problem with, you know what I'm saying, his message and stuff like that, man, first of all, build a relationship with the homie. You feel what I'm saying? Like, give him an opportunity to see your heart. And then, because otherwise, bro, you look like you clout chasing. And I don't care who got a problem with what I'm saying, because I stand on it. It looked like a clout chase. Even if it's not, let's be clear. Even if it's not, that's what it looked like. Because if I'm not gonna say nobody, that's not fair. If I haven't reached the plateau of success that somebody else has, and I'm here, and I start shooting shots at them, that's what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look like an attempt at getting some notoriety. You feel what I'm saying? And if that's not what you want, then there's a better way to do it. You feel what I'm saying? And that I got a lot of Matthew tonight, so I'm gonna just go ahead and switch this now, because this is a a familiar one for a lot of people. That kind of gets taken out of context. Matthew, hope y'all can see that. I don't know. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. And before I read verse 15, I'm gonna go back a little bit, right? In the when Christ was talking, he was basically telling them, like, they asked him earlier, like, who's the greatest in the kingdom? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, he brings a little kid up to him, like, hey, if you don't come with a heart like this, then, you know what I'm saying, don't even worry about it. And if you mistreat him, then it's better that you have a cinder block tied around your neck and they throw you in the ocean. That was his point. But I think a lot of times people miss that, in the sense of understanding that what he was saying was, when you come to the Father, you got to be reduced down in your thinking to the innocence of a child. And if you're not reduced down in your thinking to the innocence of a child, because you got all this wisdom and you think you're so smart, then don't waste your time. And if you mistreat somebody that's trying to do that has put themselves in a situation, I'm gonna try to approach this the right way. If you mistreat that person, then you need to be thrown in the ocean. Clout chaser. I'm not saying D1 is that person. I'm just saying, typically, a clout chaser does that, right? And, by the way, this is not bashing D1 at all. You know what I'm saying? From what I've heard, you know what I'm saying, he's done some pretty dope stuff in the community. But, anyway, this is talking about the relationship between kinsmen. Not just people who are of the faith. Because verse 15 says, your brother. Some people try to switch it and say believer. But it says your brother, and you know how that's relevant, and I'm going to go back to Matthew 10 in a second. You know how that's relevant and who he's talking about, because of who Christ literally told the disciples go and holler at. So it's no confusion on when it says brother, that it's talking about literally your brother. Sorry, your brother, right? It says, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. A lot of times people be so caught up in like trying to blast people online because it looks cool, not thinking that you're not even keeping the scriptures. Or let's keep it funky. You're not keeping it a book. And if you coming at somebody with that's got the pride of the success that they have experienced in life, like to the level of somebody like Rick Ross, man, you trying me, dog. I'm just saying people have got hurt for stuff like that. And I'm not wishing no bad on nobody at all. I'm just saying, like, let's be for real. You feel what I'm saying? You're thinking about shalom. You're thinking about things. You got to understand with what the mind space that you have to operate with in order to be efficient at doing what you say you're trying to do. You feel what I'm saying? Like, at what point in time are you going to start being wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove? We're going to get to that in a minute. But, like, come on, dog. Luke 17, 3. I kept studying this and I kept finding more on this subject that I feel like even makes the point stronger, right? Where's Luke? Matthew, Mark, Luke. I knew that. Man, this Bible has got the littlest words in humanity. All right. Luke chapter 17, verse 3 says, "Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. And if he repent, forgive him." I don't know. That just seems pretty cut and dry to me. You know, like what? And first of all, this doesn't say bust him out in public. It just says rebuke him. I can rebuke somebody quietly. I got rebuked earlier today from a way that I was thinking. Shout out to my dog, and I don't mind telling him. To the homie Paisley. Got me right because I was tripping. You feel what I'm saying? And see, that's the thing about rebuke. Like, people think it's always gotta be like, no, bro. Sometimes you just gotta set somebody straight in the way that they thinking. You feel what I'm saying? And that is not a busting somebody out on the internet move. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's something when you like, all right, look, I understand, I get it, I feel you. Now, let's reshape the way we thinking. Let's look at this from a different perspective and figure out if we can do this a better way. The Bible says in 18:15 that you have gained your brother. That's why. But if you busting me out on the internet, you're not gaining nothing. You're not gaining nothing. And people take this stuff like, I do this because the Most High told me to. But people take the power that this presents way too serious. I'm sorry. And like I said, I don't have no smoke with dog, but like that's not the way. Because you can say I love you all you want, but you started with something that was off. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to Ezekiel 33 real quick. One of my new favorite scriptures. Ezekiel, Daniel. Because it puts responsibility on us to keep it funky with our people, right? But at the same time, I'm gonna just read it. Ezekiel 33, I'm going to start at verse 2. "Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast, and set him for their watchman." I can stop right there. Because the point means that I'm appointing somebody to warn me that I trust. They're from my coast. They from my hood. I know him. So I know he gonna put me on game. And that's why the rest of what this says can be held to a standard. It basically goes on to say that that person better be telling y'all when the Lord is coming with judgment. And if he don't, then y'all's blood is on his hands. But it's the way you do it. It's the way you do it. If I'm not kicking it to you in a way that you can understand, relate to, be able to receive, like, what's the effectiveness? And this is not the same as going out generally talking to people on the street corners like the brothers do, because that's right. That's scriptural. Okay? But I'm talking about when you got somebody that you have an opportunity to gain, even playing field. Man, that's not the way. You're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. And granted, you know what I'm saying, we can say stuff like, well, you know what I'm saying, now that they got the knowledge they're responsible for it. Yeah, of course, sure. Absolutely. But you're going to have to give an account for every soul that you caused to miss heaven by the way you handle the situation as well. You feel what I'm saying? So on good measure, I'm going to find ways to listen to my music. I'm not saying I'm a perfect representation of how this go. But that's why it sound the way it sound. Cause I know who I'm trying to win. I can't go making music talking about sinners going to hell. Sinners going to hell. Man, not only is that whack, it ain't gonna win nothing. And it's a lot of good music representing the Most High, promoting Christ, that is not doing that. And that's because niggas get it. We're not stupid. You're not gonna be efficient if you're not working with the right tools. You feel what I'm saying? And this is the last thing. I'm gonna go back to Matthew chapter 10, and that's gonna pretty much seal the deal. I got a bunch of verses in Matthew 10. That's why I didn't show a specific what's the name? Matthew chapter 10. I'm gonna start at verse 5 to make relevance of Ezekiel 33. It says, "These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Let's unpack that for a second. Watchmen from your coast, brother, lost sheep of the house of Israel. Anyway, the reason why this is the message to them is because we understand that they have the highest disparity. Look at the curses. Look at the curses. Nobody else as a nation has dealt with that type of travesties. Deuteronomy 28 laid it on them. Now, they asked for it based on not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, but like, come on, right? You can't say they didn't ask for it. He made it plain and clear. You want to be the head, not the tail. Make your name above all nations. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You ain't got to worry about the curses. Y'all think y'all bad? Okay, cool. I'm gonna show you how bad you are. That's what you get, right? So, like, that's why so much is engineered towards Israel, because it's like, bro, y'all got a ways to come back. You're gonna be sold into slavery on ships. Brothers gonna be killing brothers. Like, come on. So anyway, on to verse 12. This is why you handle these situations from a peaceful standpoint, right? Matthew chapter 10, verse 12. This is Christ speaking. It says, "And when you come into a house, salute it," or show some respect. Don't come up in there trying to, hey, this is a house of the devil. No, you come in first showing some respect. Act like you got some sense. Anyway, and then it says, "If the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it not be worthy, let your peace return unto you." Basically, like, if they feeling what you saying, like, you know what I'm saying, offer the peace first. But if they not with it, then that's another story. That's the same thing he said in Matthew 18. Anyway, then it says, "Let your peace return to you. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that city, shake off the dust of your feet." Let it go. You did your part, right? "Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city." It's on them. Because the watchmen from the coast, from they hood, told them what's up. And if they don't listen, then their blood is on their own hands. Ezekiel 33. Christ was just saying it a different way than what it, come on. Anyway, Verse 16, this is the point. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and as harmless as doves. Folks, do yourselves a favor. If you're not clout chasing and you really trying to help folks out and you really got a heart for people and all these things that you say you are about, listen, man, you're not finna come at me with no rah-rah. I don't care what you talking about. It's just not gonna work, especially on the internet. And that's why I pointed out specifically Matthew 18. It says, "Go to him." So we ain't got no excuse. Now we know. Go and talk to that individual. If I ever have an opportunity to sit down with a mainstream artist, Most High willing it'll happen, I'm not finna go in it. Your music is the devil. You're killing people. You're sending them to hell. Man, the conversation not even gonna start. The conversation not even gonna start, dog. I'm just saying, like, how effective are you trying to be? You trying to be heard, or you trying to have people listen? Two different things, right? But, in D1's defense, I'll say this. I commend his stance for doing things the right way. I don't commend his method. And I stand on that. Like I said, because he said, "Be wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove." This ain't my idea. Right? So that's just me. You know what I'm saying? And I try to do my best to follow what the Bible say. But like I said, if I ever sit down with a mainstream artist, we're gonna build, we're gonna understand. They may have some wisdom on the music industry that's right. Flat out right. Principles that have nothing to do with, of course, the Most High, can do whatever he wants. But a secular artist could have a principle of business that I could apply to my music that could cause me to take off, right? But if I am so beside myself, like, nah, man, I'm not listening to no secular artists and what they got to say about how to do business. The Most High is gonna help me, nigga. The Most High just sent you to help. And then once we have that common ground and that common understanding, maybe then we can start talk about, hey, listen, bro, what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel about the impact of, your music and how it affects other people and your listeners? Like, what do you think is the other side of this? You feel what I'm saying? That's a lot easier conversation to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not babysitting nobody. I'm gonna challenge a nigga if I come across his path, but it's about the way I do it. It's about the way you do it. I can't gain nobody. In Luke 17, it said, "How many times shall you forgive your brother if he wrongs you?" It says a whole lot. So that means nobody's perfect. And also, you gotta have the threshold to be able to understand, hey, you know what? I gotta give a little bit more grace on the situation. Maybe you gotta have some more understanding on the situation before I just count you out. Because I want my prayers to be heard. I'm forgiving you before you even do wrong. Woo! Who willing to say that? That you willing to forgive somebody before they even do the wrong to you? I know it's tough. I'm not saying nothing to you like I know it's easy. Let's be clear, right? But what we here for ourselves, our own benefit. Glad you asked. And this is my last scripture. I didn't make a slide for this either because it just came to me to read it just now. Come on. I'm going to get there in a second, y'all. These pages are so small. Shout out to my sons for wanting to switch Bibles. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. And I'm reading it because I want y'all to know I'm reading it, but I know it, and those that know. What's our job? Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Original text says, this is what makes a man whole. Fearing God and keeping his commandments. This is what makes a man a whole man. Well, what are the law, statutes, and commandments? Well, what are the commandments? First 5 books of the Bible. It's not as tough as we make it. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not as tough as we make it, folks. I'm trying to enjoy life like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I think that everybody deserves an opportunity to do so. And I'm not going to rob my brother of that opportunity with selfishness. With clout, with trying to prove myself right, make myself look great, sell a couple albums. That junk lame. I'm gonna just tell you straight up like that. That junk is lame. I'm not calling anybody lame. I'm talking about that spirit is lame. You feel me? We got to do better. If we're trying to win something, we're trying to change some lives. Gentle as a dove, wise as a serpent. Serpents, man, they can be tricky. You feel what I'm saying? But gentle as a dove, meaning I know how to finesse the situation, but I know how to still deliver it with grace. Cause your tail be needing it sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? Just saying. Anyway, it's your dog King 7. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all joining me. Please share the live one more time for me. Share the live. I want people to listen to this. Heart issues, head issues, no tissues. I'm going to fix the titles, but that's what we on. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you at. Love y'all. Peace.